The story of Job. In the land of Uz lived a man named Job. He was known everywhere as a good and righteous man. Job feared God, avoided evil, and lived an upright life. God had blessed him greatly. He had a large family, 7 sons and 3 daughters, and great wealth, thousands of animals, and many servants. Yet despite his riches, he remained humble and faithful. Every day, he prayed for his children and offered sacrifices to God, just in case any of them had sinned. One day in heaven, Satan came before God. God spoke proudly of Job, saying there was no one like him on the earth, faithful and blameless. But Satan challenged God, saying that Job only served him because of the blessings he received. Satan claimed that if Job lost everything, he would curse God. God allowed Satan to test Job, but he placed limits. Satan could touch Job's possessions, but not his life. Suddenly, disaster struck. In one terrible day, Job lost all his livestock to raiders and natural disasters. Then the worst news came. A strong wind collapsed the house where his children were gathered, and all 10 of them died. Job was devastated. He tore his robe, shaved his head, fell to the ground, and worshipped God, saying, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Despite his deep sorrow, Job did not sin or blame God. Satan returned to God and insisted that Job would still curse God if his health were taken away. God allowed Satan to strike Job's body, but again spared his life. Job was covered with painful sores from head to toe. He sat in ashes, scraping his wounds with broken pottery. Even his wife told him, "Curse God and die." But Job replied, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" 3 of Job's friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, came to comfort him. When they saw his suffering, they wept and sat silently with him for 7 days. But when they began to speak, they accused Job of secretly sinning. They believed suffering was always a punishment from God. Job defended his innocence and cried out in pain, questioning why God would allow such suffering. A younger man named Elihu later spoke, saying that God may allow suffering to teach, correct, or humble people, and that God's wisdom is far beyond human understanding. Finally, God spoke to Job from a whirlwind. God did not explain the reason for Job's suffering, but asked him powerful questions about the creation of the world, the stars, the seas, and living creatures, things only God could control. Job realized how small he was before God's greatness and said, "Surely I spoke of things I did not understand. Therefore I repent in dust and ashes." God rebuked Job's friends for speaking wrongly about him and told them to offer sacrifices. God asked Job to pray for them, and Job did. Then God restored Job's life. He gave Job twice as much as he had before, more wealth, more livestock, and 10 new children. Job lived a long life and saw his children and grandchildren for 4 generations.